You are now tuned in to the GNWY podcast.
What's going on, everybody? Thank you so much for tuning in to this episode of the GNWY podcast. Do not forget to like, rate, review, subscribe, do all of the things so we can get people's stories out more effectively. And today we have none other than we go back for quite a while now that I think about it.
Way back, yeah.
Yeah. So my good friend Jay Lee, the producer, the coach, the mentor, the athlete, all the things. Okay, here, go ahead. You do your thing because you produce. Yeah. Jay Lee, the producer, in the building. Everybody, what's going on, man? It's good to see you.
Man.
Yeah.
How you doing, man?
Man, I'm doing good. How are you?
I'm great, man.
Yeah.
Loving life, loving the opportunity to be on the podcast.
Man, we are honored for real.
I'm honored, man.
You're a man of many talents, dude.
Well,
so
I don't know about talents. I got a lot going on, but I don't know about talents.
Dude, for real though, man. I think whenever I first met you, I didn't even know that you were an athlete. I just knew that you as Jay Lee, the producer.
Yes,
so
sir.
You marketed well during that time.
Great. Good
Yeah.
deal.
And that was through Sean and that whole group and everything.
Yeah.
Great people.
No question.
Y'all got beef though, yeah?
Yeah, me and Sean stay having beefs, man.
Okay. That's Sean C. Johnson.
Sean C.
That was
Johnson.
another episode. Go back and
let's
listen.
Make sure
but
we don't mix, get him confused with anybody else. Sean C. Johnson, we got issues. We got beef. We always got problems, and we can always figure it out and look at it. I'm looking at you right now, Sean. Yeah. So
That's good. But man, for real though, you like I said, I know you from the producer side of it, and so, but you are alumni of OU, yeah.
Yep.
So let's go back, dude. What did you play? Let's go.
So I signed to the University of Oklahoma, full ride scholarship, class of 1998.
1998,
a long time ago. And I was recruited as a running back. Like, that's what I played all through my little league, high school.
Yeah.
Recruited as a running back to play here under Coach John Blake.
Okay.
And then after my freshman year, he was fired. They brought in Coach Stoops. His offensive coordinator was Mike Leach. Completely different offensive system. And under John Blake, we were more of like an I formation team. And under Mike Leach, we were a spread team, and so that first year under Stoops, my second year here or at OU, they moved me around to numerous positions all year. But my last 2 years I stuck at wide receiver.
Gotcha.
And then in the NFL I played tight end.
Gotcha.
Yeah, I did a little bit of everything on the offensive side of the ball.
That's what's up. Okay. Where did you go to school before OU?
I was at Midland Lee High School, now Midland Legacy High School.
Have you always been from Oklahoma?
No, I'm from Midland, Texas, baby.
Whoa. Okay.
Yeah, born and raised.
I did not know this either.
Yeah,
let's
born
go.
and raised in Midland, Texas.
Where's
man.
that at? In
West Texas. It's
West Texas.
5 hours west of Dallas, 4 hours east of El Paso. So it's kind of like the midway point between Dallas and El Paso.
Got you.
Hour and a half south of Lubbock, and
dang,
we're in the Midland. Yeah,
right.
Midland.
Yeah.
Middle of nowhere.
And so you came up here just for school, yeah?
Oh yeah, just for football.
You didn't think Oklahoma was a thing, or?
No, I knew about the University of Oklahoma,
Okay.
OU football.
Yeah.
I mean, because it's a storied program.
Right.
My dad grew up watching, like, in the days that I was growing up, they weren't very good. But my dad,
because
and
of
my
you
grand-
though, yeah.
Well, I don't know
Let's
about
go.
that.
Let's go.
I was a part and contributed to our national championship and Big 12 championship.
Let's
and
go.
So that's
Y'all heard it first here. Yeah.
Yeah, but,
Legend.
that was fun.
Let's go.
But yeah, man, my dad and my granddad, they grew up watching OU football, and so they told me about the legacy and the tradition of OU, and of course, Coach Blake talked to us about it, and I experienced that on my visit. Learned about all of that, and so to want to be a part of that and bringing that that storied history back and the university back to prominence was definitely a goal of ours, and something that we were able to accomplish. And shoot, man, it's a memory of a lifetime for sure.
Yeah, man, that's crazy. Who did you have in here not too long ago that was that played for OU?
D.D. Westbrook.
Oh yeah, D.D. Good dude, man.
He was.
He's a baller.
Yeah, and he was talking about what was the coach?
Schmitty.
Schmitty.
I know he was talking about Schmitty.
Yeah,
Everybody talk about Schmitty.
Everybody talks about it.
What? Were you under hit?
Oh yeah.
How was that?
It was what everybody says it is. Yeah.
Wow,
it's
for
Schmitty,
real,
man. Yeah, everybody got a Schmitty story.
That's
Everybody,
insane.
man.
What's yours? Do you got a Smitty story?
Man, we got all kinds of Schmitty stories, man. But first of all, let me say this: I got a lot of love for Schmitty, man.
Yeah.
Like a lot of love. I'd attribute a lot of, whatever you would deem any type of success I've had in my professional career, whether it's playing football or as an entrepreneur, as a coach, as a mentor. I contribute a lot of that to Schmitty and the lessons that I learned from Schmitty.
Yeah.
And it's like, every year that goes by, I realize how much more of an impact he had on me. Just laying the foundation of, of discipline and, no excuses and, just being an overcomer of obstacles and just getting up every day and making it happen. It's like you're always going to have issues. You're always going to have obstacles and struggles in your life. But, do you lay down or do you get up and keep moving? And Schmitty instilled that in us, man. Get up, keep going, be back at 3 o'clock. All those types of things.
Right.
So, yeah, man.
Right.
Yeah, man. I love Schmitty, man.
So you said you did have a story though.
Yeah. So I guess the biggest, this the one that I like telling. It ain't really about Schmitty, but it's more about his workouts because they were brutal, man. Like they were brutal. And I remember
what time you got to get up for that type of thing?
In the winter, like this time of year, it would we'd start at 6 o'clock in the morning. I'm like, which meant you needed to be there because the weight room clocks they were always like between 10 and 15 minutes faster than the normal clock, right? And so you thinking workout start at 6, I'm gonna be there at 5:55.
Right.
I show up at 5:55 and it's 6:05. It's like what in the world?
That's hilarious.
And so and then in the summer times we would have workouts, at random times, different groups. But if you didn't make your times because you ran at the end of every workout session, and if you didn't make your times because they were timing you and you had to be in, like if you're running a certain drill, like, hey, your group 25 seconds, go. And if you don't make it in 25 seconds, you have to come back at 3 o'clock and do the whole workout again.
Dang.
Yeah, it was
the whole
brutal.
team or just you?
No, just you.
Okay,
yeah.
gotcha.
And now they do some groups like I'm like, hey, back in the days it used to just be one, but now the whole group got to come back. Dang,
right.
That's rough.
That's turning the team against you.
No question.
You know what I'm saying?
No question.
That's wild.
And so, but one summer, the summer before we won the national championship, we just did a brutal workout. It was 100-degree weather, and we're tired. And me and some of the receivers are sitting there afterwards, sweaty, tired, can hardly breathe. And it was almost like, the way I remember it, it was like we all had the same thought at the exact same moment and like all said it at the same time. Probably didn't happen that way. That's just the way I remember it.
Right.
But it was like, if we don't win the national championship next year, I'm not coming back next summer because this is pointless. Like, this is like, what's the point going through this if you don't actually win it all?
That's
real.
real.
Because it's like, it's brutal. And we ended up winning, obviously. And
let's go.
Yeah. And so we had to be back next summer. And here's the thing about Schmitty is, like, you'll think, man, high fives for everybody. We won the national championship. It worked. Let's do it again next summer.
Yeah.
And it's like, nah, we're gonna crank it up even more. Like, he turned the heat up next summer. It was harder than the summer before. And it was.
You think that was hard?
Yeah, exactly. And so, man, he just had an unwavering standard, unwavering accountability, and just held everybody accountable to the same standard. I don't care who you were. We actually had Jason White had to miss a workout for some Heisman Trophy type stuff, right? Okay. He was a Heisman Trophy winner, so he had to do Heisman Trophy stuff. He missed a workout, and everybody knew he was missing a workout. Schmitty knew and stuff like that. And he shows
not just
up,
skipping out or anything.
No, absolutely.
Right. Yeah.
So he shows up the next workout after that, goes through the workout. On his way out the door, Schmitty's like, "Hey, Jay White, you got to get that workout in, bro, that you missed." Like this freaking Heisman Trophy winner, you know what I'm saying? Like, but that was Schmitty, man. It was like, it don't matter who you are.
He's like,
man.
I didn't forget.
Yeah, like we got to make up for that, right? Like, good
That's
job on the Heisman Trophy, but hey, we got to get this work, But that's Schmitty, man, and that's who he is, and it doesn't matter who you were, man. The standard was the standard. You know, the expectation was the expectation, and so
it don't matter who you are. That's good.
Yeah, I love that dude, man.
That's what's up, man. Yeah, I mean, I've never heard of this person, so I mean, from the last,
you're around OU football long enough, you'll hear about Schmidt.
Yeah. Okay,
Yeah.
excellent.
And now he's back.
So, and now he's back. Yeah, he's back.
You'll hear about it all the time now.
And he's still like.
Oh yeah, he's still
wild.
Is this dude like jacked?
Oh,
or
yeah.
Is this,
No,
I mean, he's jacked, and he's built.
5'8".
Hey man.
I mean, he's built. But I mean, he's 6'6". You know,
your eyes
mid-60s.
kind of twitched when you said 5'8" and looked at me.
No, not towards shoot. But I mean, he's not a big dude. He's one of the most intimidating figures.
For real.
Yeah, like he's just like everybody know about Schmitty, man. We got this phrase we call Schmitty built. And so like
Schmitty what?
Built.
Yeah,
okay, so if you make it through like one of the summer workouts,
you're
like you Schmitty built.
Yeah.
You know, and,
okay.
And like a Schmitty built boys, we built different, man.
That's kind of tight. Yeah.
So,
you should make a jacket with that. That's kind of tight.
Yeah, I think some people have. We actually have a Facebook page with all former players that are on there, and it's called Schmitty Belt.
That's fire. That's fire. It's like an honor to be like get through it.
Absolutely, it is, man.
Like you're kind of like a Marine or something. Yeah.
Coach V said it the other day at the end of practice. He was like, he was talking about the different phases of the year and like going through the summer, which we call a transformation phase. And he's like, I mean, Schmitty Belt. You've heard it. Yeah. It's a real thing, isn't it? And everybody was like, yes, it is.
Yeah,
yes,
yeah.
It is.
Right.
So, yeah, man.
That's amazing, dude. So you went through all of that, right? I mean, you went through the whole athletic season of your life and everything like that. What was the transformation from doing that to music?
Well,
hang on. I got to ask one question.
Let's go.
Let's
go.
Okay. So you were coached under Bob Stoops.
I was.
Mike Leach.
Yep.
Legend.
Like, those are two of the greatest of all times when it comes to football.
Yep.
What impact do you think that had on your life long term? Like those kind of mentors in your life?
Huge. I mean, it's kind of like, I liken it to when you're a kid growing up with your parents, right? And, you get disciplined by your parents and you're always like, man, I ain't going to ever be like my parents. I ain't going to ever be like my parents.
Yeah.
And I was similar to that when it came to coaching. Like when I got into coaching, there were things about certain coaches that I didn't like, but when I became a coach, I was like, oh gosh, I'm saying the same things that they used to say to me. Like I am them,
Yeah.
And that's why I said what I said about Schmitty. It's like every year that passes, I realize just how much more of an impact he had on my life just because those things that he taught me, they continue to be more relevant every year and the older I get. And so I mean, like, I can say for Coach Stoops, like him as a leader, like there's so much that I pull from him even today, the way that I coach, a lot of the philosophies that I have as a head coach, and then Coach Leach, like outside of me just being a head coach, I've always been an offensive coordinator. And so a lot of the things that I learned from being in his system, from seeing the way that he taught the system, from the way that he organized the system, some of the concepts that he used, I use all of those things in every day that I coach, and so I was blessed, man. Like I really was. Like my high school coach is Hall of Fame coach, played for Bob Stoops, Hall of Fame coach, played in the NFL for Marty Schottenheimer, Hall of Fame coach, and then a bunch of other assistants in those programs that, I mean, Mike Leach, I think he's like a half a win away from being, Hall of Fame, which I think he'll eventually I think they'll let him in, shoot, I was fortunate, man, to play for some really, 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 really great coaches. And I pull from them every single day. They've influenced me, not just in coaching, but just in my life, in a major way. Yeah.
That's awesome. That's crazy.
Yeah.
What was the hardest game that you think you've ever played?
Ooh.
Or most memorable?
Well, I mean, there's a few of them. I think for me, there's a few answers to this. I think for most fans who followed OU football, the most memorable game of me would be the 2000 game against Nebraska, We were number 3. They were number 1. They came into Norman, ESPN Game Day for the first time.
Yeah.
And it was crazy. And they jumped out on us 14-0. And everybody was just like, oh, my gosh, that was a fun ride, because, up till that year, like it had been years since OU had been good. And Stoops' first year, we went 7-6. And then his second year, we went on this run early in the season, beat Texas by a lot, beat Kansas, went into Kansas State, number 5 team in the country, and beat them. And then we had Nebraska there in Norman at home. Again, we had worked our way up to number 3. They had been running steady at number 1 for a while. And so when they jumped out on us 14-0, everybody was like, dang, I knew it was too good to be true.
Yeah.
And then through a series of plays, man, we came storming back and ended up winning 31-14. And so at the point that we were 14 and we were down 14-0, I had a blocked punt that helped us get back in the game. And I didn't have a lot of plays in that game, but every play that I had was super big,
monumental,
and very
fire.
instrumental in us winning that game. And so, but for me, like it was games like like against Kansas State in the Big 12 championship game. That was just a super. Anytime we played Kansas State, it was just a freaking, it was a brawl. Like they were tough as crap, we were tough as crap, and it was just like throwing haymakers the whole game. And then also against Texas A&M. It's crazy. When we played Texas A&M that year, I knew it was a crazy game. We had to come back from behind to win the game in College Station at Kyle Field. But years later, I was looking at some highlights on YouTube of that game, and I didn't realize we were down like 17 points with like 4 minutes to go, and we still came back and won. It was like, what in the world? Like that was a special team. It really was, man. We had a great deal of character on that team, and so, like those are, and then of course the national championship game. That was,
right.
The summation of all the hard work that you had put in the last couple of years, and to be able to get it done, man. It was a tough game. Like they were good, and I still every day that I wake up, I still feel one of the hits that I took in that game. So
Jesus,
yeah,
I
man.
bet, dude. That's insane, man.
Yeah.
For people who are not like all the way in and never played football or anything, and especially like on that big of a platform, right? Can you give us an example of what it's like mentally, walking into an arena like that, how to block out noise like that, you know what I'm saying, and focus on what you're trying to do?
Yeah.
And like, what is that whole feeling like?
Well, honestly, once you get to that point, there's been so much that's been done and that's been built upon that once you get to that point, it doesn't really, like, you don't have to think about blocking it out, because there's been so much preparation to accomplishing the goal. What's the game plan? How are we going to execute the game plan? Like just walking into an arena or whatever, like you're going to soak it in and stuff, but like you don't really feel the pressure of the moment, if you will. Especially at that point that year, we had so many big games. Because, we started off like number 23 or 24 in the country that year. And so, when we played Texas, big-time rivalry school, you sort of get used to playing in big games from playing in games like that every year.
Yeah.
And so, we beat them 63-14 that game. And then the next week we go into Kansas State, and they're number 5 in the country. I think we jumped to number 15, maybe, I don't know, 12 or something like that, and beat them. And so that was a big game in Manhattan. Then we come to Norman against the number 1 team in the country and play Nebraska and beat them. Then a few weeks later we go to Kyle Field and play. I think A&M they were top 20 for sure. Going into Kyle Field, which is known to be one of the toughest places to play, and beating them. Going into Stillwater and beating them, you know what I'm saying? It's like by the time you get to the national, and then the Big 12 championship game against Kansas State in Kansas City, like it was. by the time you get to the national championship game, you've played in as big a games as you can play in, you know, and so you understand how to just focus on executing, you know, whatever the game plan is, and so, you know, you really don't feel that pressure. And even prior to the season, what we went through with Schmitty was like, if we can make it through that, there's nothing that we can ever face that we can't overcome. You know what I'm saying? Like, and that's a part of the genius of Schmitty. Is like he's going to apply so much pressure on you in a controlled environment that, you know,
Screaming fans is not
what people deem to be pressure in a game, it isn't pressure. Just like, man, this ain't nothing. And it, like literally, it was like games were easier for us than practice were. Because of how hard we practiced, how we competed in practice. We got to a game and it was like slow, you know, like it was like, no, this is easy. So
that's wild. That's insane. You have any more on that? Because I was gonna.
I've got more questions about current day, but you can move on.
Yo, my family is like diehard OU fans. Okay, and I say that and like it sounds like I should be, but I am. I love, you know, Oklahoma, and I watch stuff, you know, so
casual.
right. But like my mom legit will like block out her whole Sunday or Saturday or whatever day, you know, and she like will tell her whole family, don't talk to me, don't call me, you know, don't do anything, and especially don't interrupt the game. And she's shorter than I am. And she's just like a ball of fire, like in the living room, screaming at the TV, you know, at anything and everything, right? And so, like, what, like, just picturing that, you know what I'm saying? Like, there's a lot of people, you know, watching you, you know, in person. But knowing that there's fans that like love the heck out of you, you know, back at home, what is that like? Like, what's that feeling like?
Honestly, I kind of got mixed emotions about it. Just because me and my person, like you take out my background in athletics and sports, like fandom is a really strange thing. Like fandom is a weird phenomenon to me. You know what I'm saying? Like not just being a fan, but like extreme fandom. You know what I'm saying? Like that you get to a point that you boo kids. You know what I'm saying? Like, like stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? Or you take to Twitter to talk bad about a kid who dropped a ball. You know, like stuff like that is just like painting your body to go to a game. Like that's weird to me. You know
I don't know if my mom would do that, but yeah,
you know what I'm saying? And so like on one hand, it's like so strange to me, but you know, it's always good, especially as a Sooner man, to know that you know you got Sooner Nation behind you, which is one of the greatest fan bases in college football, you know, and, like they love their Sooners, and
for real,
you know, you got to perform, you know, because if you don't, if you're not performing, if you're not, you know, winning games on a high level, they gonna drag you, you know, which I think you know comes with the territory, but I think it crosses the line when they do it to the kids. They forget that they're kids, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like take all you want out on the coaches, but not the kids, you know?
Yeah. Let them play, man.
Exactly.
Man, that's a huge pivotal moment in your life, man. And so like, how do you go from those heights, you know what I'm saying, in that, and then switching everything around, and then now pursuing music, not now, but like, you know, in that time, you know? So what was that like? Have you always had a passion for music, or?
So yes, but not music production. Like So I remember
two different things.
No question. And so like, when I was young, I remember like some of my fondest memories of high school was kind of lame, but it is what it is. Were me laying in my bed with my tape recorder next to my bed, and just listening to songs, just laying there listening to songs and like really like dissecting the song. And then I would even transcribe the lyrics and write the lyrics down and look at them to see how they were being written.
For real?
Yeah.
That's
and
crazy.
Like around 12, I started writing poetry, and that's
not
really
lame at all, dude. Yeah.
No,
there's a lot of people.
I'm just saying as far as high school.
Right.
your fondest memories of high school, you know. But,
right. Some people talk about partying. You're talking
Exactly.
about laying. Click.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But I had the one that would you know, play one way, and then when it got to the end, it would play back the other way, and so I didn't have to flip the tape. Yeah, I know.
Okay,
It
fancy.
was
Let's go.
dual-sided, man. I was doing it anyway.
It's really out here.
But I started writing poetry when I was like 12 years old, and it was based around like I learned how to do it by reading books and then also listening to songs. So when I got to college, my freshman year, I'd go to these Bible studies, and they had a really good pianist there, and I'd just look at his hands and try and figure out how to play like chords and stuff like that. And that's how I learned how to play the piano.
Just by watching his hands.
Watching his hands, yeah.
Wild.
I just look at his hands and be like, okay, like this, like that, like this.
So you got like a photographic memory or something?
I wouldn't say that, no, but I'm really good with remembering patterns, like shapes and patterns. And so, like, to me, when I look at the piano, you got the 2 black keys, 3 black keys, and I always would view it as such. You know, it's like, okay, this is a triangle. If I want to, you know, play a C minor chord, it's, you know, this white key, this black key, this white key, white key, black key, black key, white key. You know what I'm saying? And like, I still don't really. If I sat down long enough, I could tell you, okay, this is a C major or C minor. You know what I'm saying? Like, I could do that if I sat down long enough. But like, some people would just hear C major and just play it. I'm not that guy. Yeah. I understand what notes are what, and stuff like that. But anyway, so I started to learn that, and then when I was a junior in college, I went back home one time, and one of my best friends from my childhood, shout out Savoy Icy Studios.
Let's go.
He had started getting into music production, and he had showed me a song, and he was like, "Yeah, this is one of the songs that I produced." And I was like, "Wait a minute, you made it?" Like, it was on a CD, and I was like, "What do you mean, like, you made this?"
What do you mean?
And he,
What do you mean?
you know, he took me through the process of, you know, being on Sonar Cakewalk and showing me, you know, how he made the beat, and then he used these mini disc, and, you know, so he put the beat on one, and then put a blank one in, and then you'd have to record your vocals on the one with the beat to the blank one, right? And then he'd take that one and put it over here. So he just had like this box of used mini disc that he was just like, took, you know, 12, 14 of them just to make one song.
And
if you wanted to go
complaining
through
about Logic and all these things.
Exactly.
Right?
It's so easy.
That's
right?
insane.
And so I was just so like just intrigued by it.
Yeah.
And I was like, man, next time I come back, I'm gonna have a song ready to record.
That's fire.
And so I went back to school, and I'd just sit there and I'd work, you know, different chords and progressions that I had learned. Try to figure out my own. Took what I had learned as far as writing poetry and, you know, wrote a song. Then when I went back home to Midland, it was probably like 2 or 3 weeks later after that, had a song ready, and I recorded it, and I just fell in love with the process at that point. And so even after that,
what was the first song called?
Everlasting Love. I was an R&B head, man.
Let's go.
Yeah. So
you talking about like the love of your life back then, or
no? I was saying I want to give you my everlasting love.
Whoa.
Yeah, and
that's deep.
I was talking to my whoever that was. I don't know who that was, but I was talking to her.
Everlasting Love.
Everlasting.
By Jay Lee.
I think back then I was still Josh Norman. I hadn't even
by
came
Josh
up with the moniker
Norman,
Jay
After
Lee, the
Dark.
producer.
Everlasting Love.
Exactly. And so when I was going to the NFL, I signed as a free agent with the San Diego Chargers. Yeah. And I think I got like a $10,000 signing bonus. And I went and bought music equipment. Yeah. I bought me a Korg Triton LE. You remember that?
Oh, yeah.
Korg Triton, man. That's a classic right there. Bought me some little old monitors and some headphones, and didn't know what I was doing. But I was figuring it out. Yeah. And that's how I got into it. And then, you know, when I made the team, I bought more equipment. That's when I got into Pro Tools and, you know, started to really dive into it. And then I played 4 years. So when I was transitioning out of football, I'd had some injuries, and, you know, I was just like, man, I had always seen other people like that I played with and people that I knew they got caught in like this purgatory in between transitioning out of football into whatever else they were doing.
Yeah.
And I always said that, you know, they let the NFL hold them hostage, you know, because they would be hoping to make a team, hoping to get into camp, and so they would put everything else on hold so they could work out, stay in shape, and then hope to get that call. And I always told myself that I never wanted to do that. I always wanted to make sure that I was either in or I was out, you know. And so after my 4th year, and I had to pop my quad off the bone.
Off the bone?
Yeah.
You don't say that
Ripped it in
nonchalantly,
half.
dude. Like, what?
Yeah. I ripped I was running, and my quad just popped, pulled it off the bone. Yeah.
How hard were you running?
I was running. I was sprinting.
I was running.
Yeah.
That's
NFL.
Yeah.
There's some running there.
And so
Jeez.
after that, man, I got released not too long after that, and I was like, man, I'm gonna move on.
Yeah.
And I knew music was something that I really wanted to pursue, and just died. Like after 4 years of doing it, you know, all off season and, you know, just working on it, I was like, man, I'm gonna do this full time. And so when I walked away, man, I just decided that that's what I'm gonna do. And so moved back to Oklahoma, and I really had to start from ground zero because I didn't know anybody in the music industry.
Right.
And so just man, that was 2006. Dang. So yeah, about 17 years ago.
That's what's up.
I moved back to Oklahoma, and man, I've been doing it ever since, and have really built up a good name for myself around here. So
definitely,
I love it, man. Got me a nice little catalog, and
man,
continuing to build. So
what was your first project coming out of like the NFL and everything?
Well, my first solo project that I ever did, I had done numerous like different people's albums. I can't even remember what the first one was. I know I did one for Vince by the name of his son. I did one for Brother Pone. I did one with Jeff Mims. But my first solo album that I ever did was called The Ace. And that's back when I was still interested in performing and being an artist.
Yeah.
And then when I did the album, and it was like, yeah, you got to like perform this to sell albums, I was like, I don't want to be on stage. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And so I stopped. That was the last time that I actually performed on an album. And so from that point on, I just became a producer, and I just started just focusing on any album that I released under my name. It would be like a compilation or compilation album with various artists on it. I produced all the music. They record with me. I do all the mixing and mastering. Oversaw the whole project, and so that's what I've done ever since then. And something that I'm passionate about. Creating certain themes for albums and building around that. Or
you're like a visionary, dude.
I am. Yeah, big time.
That's what's up.
Yeah. So like even with it's hard for me to even take a step forward if I don't have a vision. You know what I'm saying? Like I just can't move if I don't have a vision. Yeah. And so like with all of the albums that I've produced, it really started with the concept before, like some people will get all the music together and then they'll release the music. They'll name the album and then release the music. I always started with the vision, and so
because it's like a story. Right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
And so I build the music around that, and so I've been doing that ever since, man. Love it and staying busy with it.
That's dope.
Yeah,
that's dope. That's how I used to visualize music videos. I would see the story of what it could tell first, and then I'd be able to write the song. Yeah. That's it's
dope,
wild.
Man. Yeah. I'm still that way, man. I can't move on anything, whether it's some of the businesses that I have. I'll just be stagnant until I actually have a vision, a name. You know what I'm saying? A concept. It
gives
you
you purpose.
Absolutely.
Yeah. That's what's. I think I came in the picture, man. Whenever I first saw your Inspire Me.
Yeah.
And I can't remember. That's what it was called. Yeah, the green one, right?
Yeah,
the green.
Inspire Me,
Man, I'm good. Yeah. That's what's up, man. Okay,
Yes, sir.
when what number album was that one?
That was my second album.
Second. Okay, got you. Okay.
Yeah,
because
that was the first one that I did where I was like, I'm just gonna do like compilation style.
Right.
I'm not gonna be on there or whatever. Yeah,
that was
the first one.
So you're like a DJ Khaled without being a DJ Khaled.
Yeah.
Wow.
Pretty much. Yeah. Dang. Yeah.
out here in Oklahoma.
I'm curious on why you came back to Oklahoma, right? So
it's
4 years in the NFL,
Yeah.
which is fantastic, by the way, because most people don't know this. Most NFL players only last 2.5 years in the NFL. That's the average for all NFL players. So 4 years is fantastic. So you had the access to resources and stuff like that. And going into music, why did you choose to come back to Oklahoma versus New York or Nashville or LA or something?
Yeah, man. I wish I had a really profound answer to that.
Sure.
But it's really one reason. I came back to finish my degree.
Okay.
That was it.
That's cool.
And my mind was, I'm gonna finish my degree in a year, and then I'm out of here.
Yeah.
And so I jumped. I think I had 30 hours left.
Yeah.
And so I jumped the first semester. I was like, man, I'm getting this done. And I jumped in 19 hours that first semester after being out of school 4 years. No. Yeah, it was horrible. I was like, what am I doing? And so just, I ended up withdrawing because it was like, this is stupid. I shouldn't have done this. And then it took me another, 10 years to finish my degree, and then just over the course of time, just, you just stay here and you find work and you start working, and this is where you live now. And all with the mindset in the back of my head, I'm out of here. As soon as I get this done, I'm out of here. And sure enough, as soon as I got my degree, I moved back home to Texas, and I immediately regretted it. Because I had built up, a rapport, and I built relationships here, specifically, in the music business. And I went back home to Texas, and I knew people, in music and stuff, but it was like, my base is in Oklahoma. Yeah. And so, I told myself as soon as I got back to Memphis, I was like, I got to get back to Oklahoma City. And 2 years I was back here. And so, I don't plan on going nowhere. I love Oklahoma City. It is, man. It really is a special place. And I love working with the people that I work with here. And just met somebody last week that I hadn't met in the music game. And I was just extremely thrilled, to have met a young black man doing things the right way in music. You know what I'm saying? Like not doing no bunch of foolishness, but has a studio and is running the studio the right way, just a smart businessman. And so, I love Oklahoma City, especially, for business reasons, music, all of that. I love it here, and I don't plan on going anywhere.
That's dope, man.
Yes, sir.
Fire. I was gonna ask a question before you asked. Thanks, man. No, it's cool.
You're the one who asked me to.
Are you drinking sweet tea?
No, it's really weak coffee, and I'm really regretting it.
It looks like sweet tea. That's how you know it's weak coffee.
Yeah, I don't.
Come on now. Oh yeah. We're talking about Inspire Me. So we're going from Inspire Me, and who all was on that joint?
So opened up with Adam and Kizzy.
Yeah.
Fire. That's when I just started to work with them. I've been working. Well, I'll say working. I've been friends with Sean for a long time.
Yeah.
But I not
you kind of got to fill him out before
man,
you.
He have to fill me out. I was trying to work with him, but
there
Sean
it
never.
is.
I'd send him tracks and he just never respond. I'm
I
like,
understand.
Bro, seriously, you can at least just respond.
He does that to this day.
No question. He does
even
the
when
same
you're
thing.
friends.
Yeah, no question. Yeah. I'd consider Sean one of my best friends.
Yeah.
And yesterday I saw him tweet and make a Facebook post that says the only things you should do fast in life are pray and forgive. I know forgive was one of them. I was like, yeah,
he's got his deep moments
no
for
question.
sure. Yeah.
And
definitely.
my comment was, and return phone calls.
Yeah.
Because he don't return. I've been calling Sean for the last week. He hadn't returned my phone call.
That's real.
Good. Whatever.
That's
man.
real.
But anyway,
let him know.
I went to church with Sean, and Adam and Kizzy had just returned from India, and they were practicing for a concert that they were doing. And I was just there hanging out with Sean, and that was my first time ever hearing Adam and Kizzy, and I was just blown away.
Man.
And I just told him straight up. I was like, hey, I asked him, I said, where y'all, are y'all have any music that I can buy or CDs or whatever? It's like, no, we're trying to figure that out. I was like, do y'all have somewhere y'all recording? They're like, no, not yet. And so I was like, dang. I'll do it. I'll record y'all, for free, just to make y'all need to get this on wax.
Right.
And so that's how I started developing a relationship with them. Their first album that they released, that they recorded at my place, we did it in like the course of 2 weeks, and they just
For
stayed
real?
at my house. Yeah, they just stayed at my house for that time.
That's
And,
wild.
I had an extra bedroom they slept in and stuff like that, but it was
Mm.
cool because we became good friends at that moment, just
Yeah.
talking about life and doing stuff like that. And so they were on the album. Sean C. Johnson was on the album. Brother Pone was on the album. Vince was on the album. I Am Franklin was on the album. I know I'm forgetting somebody. Adrienne Archie was on the album. She's out of Nashville.
Mm.
Super dope artist. And but yeah, that was the first album I produced, outside of my own.
Yeah.
And yeah, I felt like it was at that point my best work, And
Yeah, man.
I feel like every album that I release is kind of like my best work and shows growth and
Yeah.
so yeah, man,
That's what's up.
that was a dope album.
I think your music box show
Yeah.
was the first show that I thought it inspired me, because I was like, this is dope. This is like an art gallery. Like the food was great. Okay. And then how you presented your body of work was fire. So I was like, I've never seen. Well, personally, yeah, I've never seen it done like that.
Yeah.
And then especially during that time, I was like, this is so creative, dude.
Thank
I was
you,
like,
man.
yeah, I was like,
Appreciate
let's
that.
go.
Yeah, so that was the album release party, if you
Mm.
will. And for those of you who
Right.
are just being introduced to me,
Yeah. Jay Lee, everybody. Everlasting love.
Music Box was an album that I released in 2017, and I wanted to do something creative for the album release party, and so what I did was I commissioned, I think, 5 different artists from different mediums: photographer, painter, somebody who draws. I commissioned these different artists, and I sent them each like 3 or 4 songs from the album.
Yep.
And just let them create their art based on what they were inspired from when they heard the music.
Dope.
And so that night that we did the album release party was like an art gallery, and we talked about the inspiration. The artists talked about the inspiration behind what led them to create that art based off of what song they heard. It was a cool deal. I enjoyed that night, man.
Bro, so dope, man.
Did you go to the concert?
Was it
Music
after?
Box concert? Yeah, it was.
I don't think so.
It was about a month afterwards. Yeah,
I don't think so.
That was
I
dope.
missed out on that one.
Yeah, so this
Was
one
it live?
Yeah, it was live.
Well,
It was in the basement of the old Douglas building.
was Marcellus there?
Marcellus was there. Yeah,
Yeah. I think
Yeah.
I saw pictures.
Yeah.
I was not.
it was super dope because we did like a
was mad.
360 setup,
Yeah.
and the band was in the center. The band was on the outskirts of the circle, and the
You did what
singers were on
Kanye
this.
was trying to do, and you did it before him.
Did I?
Yeah. Yeah, man. Just say it.
Ooh.
Don't say did I. You
Ooh.
did.
I never thought about that,
Yeah.
but yeah,
Because the 360 joint, like,
yeah.
that's
Yeah,
what he was
you're
doing
right.
for the
That's
Sunday
right, yeah,
services.
Yeah. And so we had all the
And
people
Jay
around
Lee,
it, and
and Jay Lee was doing that.
it was live too, man.
Man.
The acoustics were horrible in there,
Yeah.
but the energy was phenomenal.
Yeah, man.
Like it was crazy, man. It was such a dope night, man.
Yeah.
So yeah,
That's dope.
had some good times, man.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
Definitely. And now you're doing even more stuff, man. So
Yeah.
we bumped into each other the other night, and you were telling me about this cologne.
Yeah,
Is that
fragrance
okay to
line.
talk about?
Yeah, we can talk about it.
Excellent.
Yeah, so I love cologne.
Okay.
Like, I always have since I was young. I remember when I first got introduced to cologne. I was probably like a freshman in high school, and I like carried the bottle around on me.
For real?
Yeah, and every time I thought I couldn't smell it anymore, I'd spray more on me. It was horrible.
That's
I
amazing.
think it was Pierre Cardin.
Okay.
was what it was.
Fancy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so ever since then, I've just always loved cologne. There was one point I had like 40 bottles of cologne at once, and
Just like taking up your dresser?
yeah, on
Whoa.
my counter. Yeah,
Wow.
yeah.
That's amazing.
And so I always like. I'm the type of person, if I'm passionate about something, I'm gonna figure out a way to like explore it.
Yeah.
And so I always knew that I wanted to have a fragrance line, like create my own cologne. You know?
Really?
Yeah.
That's fire.
And again, if I don't have a vision, I can't start something, you know. And so what actually prompted me to start pursuing it, I was doing the genealogy of my family. My dad was like, Josh, can you do some research on our family and see? And I was like, yeah, I'll do it. And so I started doing all this research. And so my grandfather's mother's side is where I was at this time, and I was doing all of this. And I got back to like my third great grandfather, and I found like the census that he was on from like 1900 census and all of this kind of stuff with his name, the children, his wife's name, the children that were in the home, all of that kind of stuff. And his name is what I was like, now I can start the process of developing my fragrance line. His name is Squire G. Squire G. And I was like, oh my gosh, that's the name.
That's kind of fire.
That's the name, exactly. Yeah. And so yeah, I mean, I've since then, you know, just gradually over the years, piecing things together.
Yeah.
To me, it was all about the story. Of how, you know, he came to Texas because he was born a slave in Virginia, and then ended up moving to Texas later on. And you know, I wanted to mix in some fantasy with it, you know, just to sell the brand and stuff like that. But yeah, I've gotten that part, and now I'm in the process of developing the scent and put my marketing plan together and all of that kind of stuff. And
that's wild.
I'm excited about it, man.
How do you discover a scent? Like, you just walking around sniffing stuff? Like, how does this work?
Like, yes, that's one way. If you really want to dive deep into it, I ain't got that kind of time.
No, yeah, of course.
But you know, there are certain fragrance houses that you can actually go to and visit, and you know, they'll take you through the process of how to develop one from scratch, and they'll, you know, show you the different scents and, you know, which, like, is it top note, mid note, you know, or bottom note, top note, middle note, you know, like, those are all of the different.
It's in notes?
Yeah, so in every scent that you smell, like cologne, there's a top note, middle note, and a bottom note. And that's the way that your scent processes it. Like, the first thing you smell, and then what lasts the longest is the top note, right? And so, and so, you know, building that fragrance based off of what's in each one of those top, mid, or bottom notes. Yeah. Like, they'll take you through the process of smelling all of that, and then you develop the cologne from there.
That's
I'm not
fire.
doing all of that. Yeah. I'm using the process of, another way that you can do it is what they call private labeling or white labeling. Yeah. And it's where, you know, what kind of cologne do you wear?
Man, there's this stuff that I got from GQ that's on 23rd and Portland. That's in a gold container. I have no idea what the name is, but it smells sexy.
You don't know what the name is?
I got it for my wedding.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Gold.
It's just gold, with a black top. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, whatever that cologne is.
Shout out to
like,
I'll have to show it to you to my truck.
Okay.
I'll show you after.
Yeah, I want to see it.
I want to.
So
I want you to see it.
So you're doing what I did in high school, just in a less
that's cool. I get
pronounced
it.
way.
Yeah,
you know, you just keep it in the truck. You don't keep it on you. You just keep it in the truck, and then if you, I need a little bit more.
Honestly, yes.
Hey, I ain't mad at you.
Yeah,
gotta make sure you
because
smell it right.
I try to, like, because even whenever you get because I work out in the middle of the day or randomly or whatever. And so I just want to have it just in case.
No question. I ain't mad at you.
Okay.
So what white labeling or private labeling is?
He said you to do with what I did in high school. That's amazing.
Just as a grown man.
It's all of course.
And so they would take, like, the cologne that you wear. Yeah. They would take that same scent and just put your label on it. And that's another way you could do it. The way I'm doing it is it's a combination of the two of them. I'll give them examples of the style or this type of scent that I'm looking for to create an original scent.
Gotcha.
And so that's the process.
What's your favorite one so far?
My favorite
Not scent
or favorite cologne?
Let's ask scent first. What's your favorite scent right now?
All right, I'm gonna put y'all on game.
Let's go.
Check this out.
Yeah.
So, are you familiar with the types of colognes like eau de parfum, eau de toilette? No. So, these are.
How about you?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
What do you quiz him?
Well,
I want to know. I want to know.
Well,
he's
I won't
always
quiz
so
him.
confident.
I won't quiz
wanna
him.
know.
But these are like the level of oil to alcohol content.
Okay, yeah. I
Okay.
get the content
So-
of it. I don't know the names of what you just said. You said
So-
toilet.
so
I don't know what that is.
Parfum is going to be the highest level of oil concentration.
Okay.
Right, and so it's going to last longer.
Right.
Easier on the skin because
Right.
it doesn't have as much alcohol.
Significantly more expensive.
Yeah, significantly more expensive. Eau de Parfum is the one that it's still expensive.
Right.
Like the majority of the ones that we would have access to and purchase are going to be Eau de Parfum
Okay.
as far as the highest in oil content. And then Eau de Toilette is much less oil content, higher alcohol content,
Right.
which is what a lot of people probably wear.
Probably what I got in my truck.
Probably. It's
exactly.
no knock, but that's
It's probably.
typically when you go to Dillard's or Macy's or whatever.
Yeah.
A lot of those are gonna be
Gotcha.
Eau de Toilette.
Good to know.
So, I when I was in South Africa a couple of months ago, I found a cologne by Antonio Banderas called Icon, and I love the scent, and I bought it in South Africa, and it was super cheap over there. And so when I got back to the States, I Googled to see how much you could buy it from, or buy it for on like Amazon or whatever. Bro, it's Eau de Parfum, and it's like $27, and it'll get you in the game. It's right.
Okay.
It's a very, very lovely cologne.
I'm gonna have to try it out. Yeah.
You got to. It's $27, bro.
Right.
And it's Eau de Parfum.
Okay.
Not Eau de Toilette.
Okay. Yeah.
Super dope. So,
Yeah.
and if I'm butchering the pronunciation on that, okay, whatever. But anyway,
Sorry about you, Antonio Banderas.
yeah, Antonio Banderas Icon.
Yeah.
Really, really, really good scent.
Okay.
$27.
Excellent.
Dope. So anyway,
Excellent.
but for me, I love like masculine scents,
Yeah.
but like exquisite luxury
Okay.
type scents. So I like one of my favorite cologne or fragrance houses is Creed. I love Creed. And one of my favorite scents is
Not based off the movie, right?
no. This is long before. They've been around since like the 1800s or something like that, creating
What?
perfumes and
Oh, wow.
colognes. And they're all Eau de Parfum or Parfum.
Yeah.
And they have one called Green Irish Tweed that I love.
Yeah.
I came across this when I was playing ball, and I could afford it,
Yeah.
but I can't afford it no more because they're like $300-400 bottles
What?
of cologne. Yeah, super expensive.
And how long does this stuff last you?
Shoot, for a long time.
For real.
Like, I mean, it don't
Okay.
take. You ain't got to douse yourself in it. Like three squirts, and you're good, man.
Yeah.
And then I'm telling you, like, it'll last you for days. Like,
Really?
yeah, seriously.
You're just soaked in it.
Yeah, man. And so, and then they also have one called Aventus that's really popular. I don't have Aventus, but a lot of people use that one.
Yeah.
But,
Okay.
So yeah. Anyway,
This is interesting, man, because I've what, and so you would name it say it Swagger G or what?
Squire G?
Squire.
yeah, that'll be
gotcha.
the name of the brand. Kind of like Creed is the name
That's
of their
fire,
brand,
dude.
but then they have different scents like Green Irish Tweed. So the first scent will be 1857, which was the year Squire G was actually born.
That's dope.
And then the second scent will be Royal, and that's Royall. And
Okay.
that was the name of one of his sons.
For real.
Royal.
That's
Yeah.
dope.
Yeah, it's on the census, 1910 census. And then the third one is going to be called King's Highway. And the reason why, he lived on King's Highway. Like that was his address,
Oh, wow.
1805 King's Highway in
That's
Waco,
fire.
Texas.
So you're breaking down all the details of him. That's
yeah,
fire.
Yeah,
That's so dope.
yeah.
You need so. How are you gonna be shooting some videos of this?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
Cool.
yeah.
If you need
Solid
any
part of
help, let us
marketing.
know, man.
I will.
Yeah, because
Definitely,
we can
man.
make it look fire. dude.
Yeah, I was actually going through my mental fitness last night, and thinking about like going through and developing a marketing plan. I always
Yeah.
develop it in my head before I put it on paper. So
Of course.
I was doing all of that last night, and I think I got a really fire marketing plan
Yeah.
in the works. So
That's dope.
Yeah.
That's fire, man. Sweet. So and then also you said earlier that you're planning on writing a book.
Yeah, I'm not planning on it. I'm like in the thick of it right
for
now.
real?
Yeah.
Okay.
I actually just finished my first edit and revision like yesterday.
Really?
To send it to the editors. And so it's a book called From the Field to the Firm. And it's a book about leadership and culture building.
Okay.
And so From the Field to the Firm is basically I'm taking a lot of the ideas, strategies, concepts, practices that we use in the coaching world and applying it to the corporate world.
Yeah.
From, hiring practices to, just how to build your culture and all of that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
And so I'm excited about that, man. I'm reading through this first draft. Got me really excited, and it's headed in the direction that I want it to, and look forward to having it ready by this summer.
From the field to the firm.
From the field to the firm.
That's dope, man.
Yeah.
And when do you plan on dropping that?
More than likely, I'm aiming for like the end of. I got a few things that I'm aiming to try to get done by the end of August, just because.
You're just an entrepreneur, bro. That's dope.
But man, when that season comes around, bro, it's like tough to do anything, and so I try to get everything done. I'm aiming for August. I gotta trying to drop an album in August. I'm trying to get this book done by August, and
jeez,
yeah. So I'm trying to get quite a few things done by August.
And Squire G's gonna drop.
Nah,
dang,
that'll be
that's
dope. Probably a year and a half, 2 years out.
Yeah. Okay. That's dope, man. Well, for real, man. Let us know if you need help with anything.
I will.
This is off camera talk, but for real, yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, that'd be dope.
No question, man.
Yeah. Man, dude, for real. I know we've been running overtime.
I'm sorry.
So no, you're good. It's
I
been
can
dope. We've been needing to catch up anyway, man.
Yeah,
So it's
yeah.
dope. For real though. So if you have anything that you wanted to, man, I had another question too. Frick. I'll think about it. If you have anything that it was about the field to the firm. Okay, so if you were to what do you see is a big struggle within the corporate world that you're trying to convey from the field?
Yeah.
What's the biggest
training?
thing? Training. Okay.
Yeah. So, and I came across I started to realize this when I left the NFL, and I started getting a real job in the corporate world and stuff like that. So the majority of businesses, when they bring you in, when they hire you, they have orientation. Some people's orientations will be 1 or 2 days. Some will be a week. I think out of all the jobs that I've had, the longest I ever had orientation was a week. Right? And they teach you about the company history. Yeah. They give you the baseline tools that you'll need to complete your job, and then they put you to work. Yeah, right? Yeah. And that's it. They might. Right. Depending on what company you're with, they might have some professional development requirements. Like, hey, you got to get 6 hours of professional development every year or something like that. But there's no intentional, active, continual, consistent training in most businesses. Right. Compared to in the NFL, it's every day. You're working on being great at these skills. Yeah. Few skills, there's a certain set of skills, and you're practicing on those things every single day to where it's second nature or muscle memory for you. And so in the book I break down what a week looks like during the season. Yeah. Right. Let's say we're playing college football and we play games on Saturdays. Well, Sunday, coaches are coming to the office. They'll break down their opponent's film. They'll come up with a game plan, put all of that together with what we call installs, and the game plan on how we're going to attack our opponent on offense, how we're going to attack them on defense and special teams. Monday, all of the team comes in. The coaches present this to them, say, "Hey, this is a game plan. This is our scouting report on our opponent. This is how we're going to attack those things. These are our keys to victory." Yeah. Right. And then they break up into position meetings in their meeting rooms. The position coach tells them exactly what they need to accomplish in their position to win, what they're going to practice on and practice throughout the week so that they can execute on Saturday. They do that. They go out to the field On Monday, they do that. On Tuesday, they come back in, they do the same thing. Wednesday, they come back in, they do the same thing. Thursday, same thing. Friday, they do all of that same stuff, but they walk through it, right? This is just to tighten up, making sure we got everything. All right, cool. You know what you're doing, right? Saturday, they go out and execute. The way I compare what corporate America does to the football world or sports in general is, they'll come in on Sunday. The coaches will come in on Sunday, or management. They'll get this game plan together. They'll come in on Monday. All of the employees and players will come in. They'll present it to them, and then they'll say, all right, y'all got it? Good. I'll see y'all on Saturday. And then they just show up on Saturday expecting them to have learned the information, practiced the information, done all of that all week, and then they show up on Saturday expecting them to know it. Right. And so, in the book, I challenge management and leadership to be intentional about consistent training, consistent evaluation, consistent correction, consistent praise, all of those things, just like they do in the football world. I mean, there's probably in the course of a day, there's probably going to be at least 10 points of contact that you have with your coach, from the meeting room to pre-practice workouts to during practice to post-practice to post-practice meetings. You're going to have about 10 points of contact where the coach is he's either correcting you, praising you, evaluating what you just did, whatever. And that just doesn't happen in the corporate world. Yeah. And that's the reason you have guys in the NFL who are the best in the world at what they do. It's not, granted they have a certain set of God-given tools, right? But that stuff is being developed. A lot of people don't realize how much detail goes into the technique of what those guys do. Yeah. They'd be blown away if you heard them talking about just the details of how to run a route. It's not just get out there and run and get open. It's extremely detailed. Yeah. And so these things are being constantly taught, constantly reminded, constantly corrected, constantly, praised. And so I think that's, if companies would just implement that one thing, they'd see tremendous growth in their productivity.
That's dope. Yeah. Dang. Yeah. We're going to have to field to the firm. Yeah.
Yeah. From the field to the firm.
August. Let's go.
That's what I'm shooting for.
Yeah, man. Yeah.
Hopefully
so this
we can
podcast is the accountability.
Exactly. Right. I put it out there. I got to get it done.
Yes,
That's
sir.
real.
That's dope. Man, if you want to leave the people with one thing that really motivates you to continue to do literally all the adventures and, entrepreneurship things that you are doing and all that, if you could leave them with that one thing, or if you want to, talk to your 10-year-old self, man, I don't know, whatever, if you can.
Well, I'd say the first thing that motivates me is my responsibility to others. I feel like, outside of, the responsibility to God to do everything as though I'm doing it unto Him. Yeah. The responsibility to my wife, the responsibility to my family, to leave a legacy of something that's excellent, and that's really what drives me every day is thinking about my legacy. And I guess I'm at that age now. I'm 42 years old, and my legacy matters to me. How I treat people, the work that I do, the level of quality of work that I do, and really just the legacy that I leave behind matters. And so everything that I'm doing, out of all the many things that I'm doing, I'm trying to do it at a very high level, something that's creative, and that will leave a lasting legacy.
Man, and you're a true testament to that, bro, for real.
Appreciate that, man.
We appreciate everything that you've done for Oklahoma, but also the community and especially the creative arts world, man. So, for real, you've been an inspiration to me. So, I mean, no telling, how many more are out there. So,
appreciate you, man.
Thank you so much for your time, bro. If you want to leave, where can people follow you at?
Shoot, man. Twitter, Josh Norman _OU3.
Yeah.
I think everything else, my IG, Facebook, all of that is J. Lee Productions.
Perfect.
So at J. Lee Productions.
Yeah, man.
Yes, sir.
Be sure to follow him on anything and everything. And once again, thank you so much for tuning in for this episode of the Generation Y podcast. We'll see you next time.